good to see you. And my name is Molly, and welcome to Zebra Studio. Today we will be talking about porn. Should we teach our kids about the dangers of porn addiction? Tell me what you think. Don't forget to like, to share, and to subscribe. So we will be talking about porn and the addiction. Should we teach our kids at an early age so that they're aware of how dangerous and addictive porn is? And also, does porn affect your health, your relationship, and all that? I think it does, in my opinion. And I have an opinion that porn is similar to drugs, illegal drugs. It's very addictive. And I think we are actually in a position where our children have phones and are able to access and look at things they're not supposed to be looking at a very young age. So, and this can affect the kids a lot. So I feel that we should teach our kids, and we should have it in school as a subject. Teach about the dangers of porn, because everybody, especially men, are so addicted to watching it on their phones. Married or not married, it doesn't matter. Men are addicted to porn, because once you're exposed to it, I don't think, especially if you are exposed to it at a very young age, I think it's terrifying for young kids to watch, and it's very dangerous. So it's better for us as parents to tell our kids about it, the dangers about it, and explain things to them. Whether you're a Christian or not a Christian, I think it's very important that we start looking at things like that, because society has made it so normal. It's now a normal thing, but I don't think it's an intelligent thing to do, and it's okay for children to start watching porn, because it's damaging. And actually, I think porn has become the #1 teacher of sex education, and I don't think it's the right way for any human being to start learning about sex through watching porn, because porn is dangerous, and it's not how a person, nobody should practice all the hard stuff that they do there. And most of the porn movies are very aggressive, and most of the best selling porn movies are aggressive and abusive. So I don't think a 6-year-old child, or any child, should be able to view something like that, because they have it at the tip of their hands with mobile phones and all that. I think since the 70s, apparently it's become increasingly violent and crazy and humiliating as well. The increase of the violent sexual porn movie industry, for instance, they've got something like gagging, ATM, they call it ATM, I think it's anal penetration, something like that. And a lot of abuse, slapping, physical abuse, the craziness. Do you think it's worth our children watching that type of movie and then making a decision that this is how lovemaking or sex should be done? Is it normal? What do you think? In these porn movies, they show double penetration and choking. I don't think that's wise for our children to get exposed to such things. So how do we teach them? And something called ATM, not ATM as in to take out money, but ATM as in ass to mouth. So those are the things that our children will watch if we do not teach them and teach them about sex life and, well, sex education and porn, how bad and addictive things, movies, porn movies could be to their lives, to their careers, and to their health and their future. And most of these porn movies contain physical aggression, which is the gagging, choking, the ATM, where it's anal, the penis goes in there, your penis goes in your anus or anal and then goes to the mouth. And the gagging is when the penis goes into your mouth and you gag. And these are not things that our children should be watching at a very young age. Not only watching, how do we teach our kids the difference between porn and proper sex, if there is proper sex nowadays, or how do we do that? How do we do that with all this mainstream and everything around us now? Sometimes they even show hair pulling your hair. So I don't think that's a good idea. And some of them have, actually most of them, the most rented by, I don't know who's renting them, but a lot of people rent them. So basically it shows that people are getting their knowledge of porn and sex through watching these things. So there's verbal abuse as well, where they call each other silly names or abusive names, and I don't think that's a very good way for our children or to learn about sex. Names that they use are slut and bitch. Those are the names that they use in the porn movies. So I still don't think it's a very good way for children to learn about sex. And the thing is, it's women who are exposed to that, and they're the ones who, do the porn movies and all that. And the funny thing is slapping. You don't go around slapping people, but in porn movies, they slap women and they don't say a word, and they just become neutral. And if you slap somebody, that's not good. But why is it okay that people are slapped, women are slapped, or whosoever slapped during porn movies, and that is okay? Why is that okay? Because in the normal life, if someone slaps you, they're not going to be happy with you. But in the porn industry, the slap seems to be alright. If you look at it, what standards and what norms, what are we trying to show? What kind of standards are these? Some movies, some people they go as far as strangling. I don't know where the joy comes, how that happens, where you want to be strangled and you think that's okay. And some people, because they've been watching porn a lot, they think it's normal, and they expect, for example, you find that a man who's addicted to watching porn has a girlfriend, and then they expect you to make that noise and scream and groan and ask for more and behave the same way. They expect women or whosoever to behave the same way that in the movies, the porn movies, you need to behave this. They don't understand why a person is not behaving that way, why you're not screaming, why you're not doing what they see in the porn movies. So somehow they think it's normal, and yet it is not normal. A 5-year-old and a 6-year-old can stumble onto a movie, a porn movie, and that can affect them, like I said in the beginning. And it can also have an impact with your self-image. Like young girls, if you're a young girl and you think this is a standard, this is how you should behave, this is a real thing. I don't know what to say about this, but I think we need to educate our kids about porn. It's very important that we educate our children about porn. And you also find that because they expect your partner to, people want to please their partners, but they want to do it with what they watch, and they want to copy porn, and that can damage your self-esteem. And the young girls as well, they want to be like those models, they want to be like those who are performing porn. So everybody will be like, I want to be like that, I want to make you happy. And then if they don't do that, if their partners don't perform and do what they think they should be doing, then they start beating on themselves. That's how dangerous porn is to your self-esteem, to your relationship, to your children, to your partners, to everybody. A 6-year-old and a 5-year-old child should not be watching porn or have access to things like that, because that is damaging. Because they will think it's normal, and they'll think perhaps that's what their parents do or any couple does, and they'll think it's very scary for young kids to be exposed and see things like that. So how do we as parents or adults or teenagers escape or teach ourselves, or because it's all over, it's the most rented things, and everybody, it's everywhere. Sexual porn consumption or addiction can lead to sexual assault. If a person's so addicted, they can do anything. So basically what you see often, you get used to it and you think it's okay. You think it's okay for you to consume so much porn, and then it's okay, and then you just lose the sense of normal, and it's easy for you to behave in a certain way, and that leads to sexual assault. Right, porn can damage your brain if you just keep on. It's very dangerous. So therefore, it is addictive, very addictive. It's basically like a drug. So let's keep our kids away from it and teach them the real stuff, what sex is, the real meaning of sex, and try and get them away from watching things like that. There are people who are compulsive porn users. What we do? Well, we have a challenge here. We have to, because if it's an addiction, that means it's a sickness and something has to be done. We have to fix this, because 24 hours, we have phones, we have access to everything. So it's easy for a person to be addicted. So how do you teach your children and tell them about this? Tell me what you think. My name is Molly, and thank you for joining me today. This is Zebra Studio. See you later. Bye-bye.